What's up, deep dude?
Deep dude. I am a deep dude. Got deep thoughts. Lots of deep thoughts.
You do have deep thoughts. You do have deep thoughts. And you know what? I find interesting, especially in today's society, we don't ask good questions.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we don't ask good questions. And I think the other side of it is we do not, I think when we suggest thinking deeply, we're suggesting, or people may receive that as us thinking that that's smart or that it's somehow more intellectually a higher level of intellectuality. but but I think what's important about thinking deeply is thinking, like
Yeah.
taking the time to deeply think, which is not a dumb thing at all, right? And I think I just I think we've gotten into this habit, this we've lost the ability to critically think through things, to have meaningful discourse based on good questions and actually thinking through them.
For sure, man. This is episode 200, dude. It's crazy that we've done 200
200.
episodes of Feeling Storehouse podcast, and we kind of threw it out to the world on the socials and on email and in some of the groups that we're with, that we would kind of do like a Q&A session. We've never done one of these before. And have some questions come in that you and I could think deeply on. And there are some good questions, man. There's some good ones that required some deep thought. I liked it, and there's quite a few.
Yeah, man.
We're not going to be able to get through all of them, but we'll hit on a few of them that came in that were a little bit deeper, if you will. So you ready? You ready to do this?
Ready, ready, ready,
All right.
ready.
So one of the questions that came in was this: what have you observed that separates people from those who take action and those who don't? And this is a good one.
It's a really
What
good question. Really
what
good
is your
question.
what is your answer?
You know, I think there's I mean, not to try to cop out, but I think there's a lot of reasons, right? And it's very individualized why people don't. But I think a big one is confidence. I think people lack the confidence to do something, but I also think that it's just the resolve to just try. And what I mean by that is accepting the fact that you're going to fail more than you succeed is a huge step. And it's something that I live by, right? And I talk to my kids about it all the time, that you are absolutely 100% going to fail way more in life than you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And that's good. You're going to be wrong. Your opinions are going to be wrong vastly more than they're right. But the key is the ability, and what makes you special is the ability to acknowledge it, to accept it, and then to do something about it, right? To take a step, to change your opinion, to not continue to fight for something that's not right, to grow, to learn. And as long as we're failing forward, then we're doing something. And I feel like that people that are willing to fail forward, that are willing to fail, that are okay with that, because it's going to happen anyway, so you might as well be okay with it, but that you are very intentional in being okay with that. I think those people are action takers. I think they do things recognizing that if they don't do something, nothing will ever happen.
Yeah. And I want to take a step back further from there. I think that the people that are okay with failing, the people that know that they're going to fail forward, have a big why. They have a big purpose. They have a mission that they are waking up to go and be excited about accomplishing every single day. And I think there's a lot of people in this world that have no clue what their why is, what their just cause is, what their purpose in life is, what God made them to be, to go do every day, because they don't take the time to really consider what that is, to reflect on that, and to dive into their purpose in life. There's some great books. I just named a few of them, like, Finding Your Why, Infinite Game, both Simon Sinek books. But sitting down, taking the time, reflecting, and figuring out what your big purpose is, what your big why is important. And I think a lot of people don't take action towards that because they don't have one. Example is health, right? Like, why do you want to be healthy? Well, a lot of people don't hit their health goals because it's just a number, right? Or there's no like big purpose on why I want to be healthy. But if you had something like, I want to be able to get on the ground and play with my grandkids when I'm 90. I want to be healthy enough to do that. I want to have the muscle strength, and I want to have the cardiovascular ability to play with my grandchildren when I'm 90 years old. That's a pretty big why. And if you have that set, I think you're going to take action towards that goal every single day.
Yeah, I mean, and one of our buddies, a great example, one of our buddies who also is a coach, he said that his life was headed down a path from a health perspective that he was not going to see the day that he could walk his daughter down the aisle.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that drove him, right? Like that was that was the picture that he had in his head, and that was all that was required to drive him to take action. Dude's healthy guy, super trim. I'm sure there's going to be no issues for him walking his daughter down the aisle. But I agree with you, man. And the most sad part about that is that we all have a purpose. I firmly believe that we all have a purpose, and it just requires a little bit of effort to dig into what that is and how we can add value, right? We all can add value. We can all benefit others. And it's just digging into that a little bit to figure out what that is that can then drive action. And again, and with that comes a lot of stuff falls away, right? Like imagine if there are people out there that would tell you and I, or that would tell you and me, I'm sorry, English major there, that would tell you and me, hey, dude, this entrepreneur thing, trying to build a mastermind, like that's just dumb. Like, it's like, why would you do that? Like, are you making any money? What is the upside? What are you guys doing? But for you and me, our purpose are just cause seeing men overcome broken homes and crippling isolation, like these things are so important to us, and having meaningful, special, amazing relationships, those things are so important to us that I don't care what anybody else says. Like I literally just don't care. I can't even hear that.
Yeah.
And so I think understanding the why and understanding, so the point to that is when you have that passion, you have that cause, you have that why, the criticisms and the barrier to action just go away.
Yep.
Anybody's opinion of why it's not a good idea, that's not a roadblock for us. That's not a speed bump, because I just simply don't care, because I believe so strongly in what we're doing that other opinions are not going to derail that, period. And I think that's just a big piece, man. It's just that confidence that comes from that why, and the ability to fail and to fail forward and to end up in a place that's vastly further than you started causes people to take action.
I like it, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Where's the line between being driven towards continuous improvement and contentment? And how do you define this for yourself?
I think the answer is in the question, man. I think what a lot of people don't do, and not I know for a fact, because I have these conversations almost every day, people do not define what success, winning, comfort, any of that stuff. They don't even they don't make the effort to define what that means. So then you're shooting at a blank target. You're shooting at more. The target is more.
Yeah.
And so, if you've not taken the time to identify the things that are priorities and what's important to you, then you could never answer that question, right? You ask someone, well, when are you going to stop working 80-hour weeks? Well, when I'm comfortable. When you're comfortable. Huh? What does that mean? What is comfortable?
Mean?
I don't know. I never thought about it. Dude, you literally said you're basing your daily actions, your weekly activities, your 80-hour work week on something that I ask one question for you to dig one layer deep, and you can't answer that question. You can't define what comfort means.
Or success.
Or if
How do you define
or
success?
success. All right. Well, I just want to be a millionaire. Okay, cool. Let's dig into that. Why? Why do you want to be a millionaire? Well, I never really thought of that. I mean, do you need a million? Like, do you need it? Does it have to be a millionaire? Like, can you be a high hundred thousands there? Like, have you even dug into any of these things? And most of the time, the answer is no. And so, to answer the question, I think this first step, the line is very personalized. It's your line, but you have to define it. And you have to put everything in context and prioritize the things that are most important, and then base your decisions off of that.
Well, I think your priorities change over time too, right? Like depending on the stage of life that you're in. And maybe like you're a young single guy, and you're trying to crush it and grind and work hard and build up a business that you're trying to grow and create wealth for yourself. That growth versus contentment could be very different when you are mid 40s and you have 2 kids at home and a spouse, and your priorities change towards putting more time towards your family. And so I think depending on the stage of life you're in, the contentment versus growth chart changes. And I think as a driven person, you're going to continue to want to grow all the time. But maybe you're growing differently, and maybe maybe you've reached your goal of being the millionaire, but maybe now you're driving towards helping others become successful. And I think that will continue to help you grow yourself. So it's a great question. I don't know if there is a right answer to it. I think it is personal to your own definitions of what that looks like for yourself. Just like
and I think the right answer is exactly that, right? The right answer is that you're actually intentional about these things. It's like, so for me, I will never be content with my level of improvement, right? Like, I always want to grow. I want to continuously improve throughout my life.
Yeah.
And I never want that to stop. And when you bring in the contentment thing, well, contentment is also a choice. I want to choose to be content in whatever areas that I've defined that I, whatever it is, right? I'm content. I have defined contentment, and I choose to be content in the house that I have. And I choose not to compare myself to somebody else who has a better house, because if I do, then I should probably compare myself to someone who has a lesser house, right? Like, these things are all relative to and they're decisions that we're able to make. And I think that's the best part of the question, is that it's in your hands. You have the power to choose how high you want to go, how good you want to be, whatever those mean for you. And also to be able to choose to be content with how far you've come, which really goes into the third question as well.
Yeah. What's that quote? Comparison is the thief of all joy. You should be never making decisions of contentment versus growth based off of comparing it to other people.
Yeah, because you just don't know. You just don't know the full story there either.
Yep. Good stuff, man. All right. Last question for this one. We're going to hit on, why is it harder to find and recognize our weaknesses and failures as opposed to our successes and our strengths? I know I need to be more intentional about celebrating my wins, and it seems like that is a common trend.
Yeah. Again, it boils down to, I think that if we would take ownership of all the areas of our life, a lot of these things go away. And what I mean by that is, the reason why it's harder to recognize our weaknesses and our failures, one, I think it's kind of human nature, but two, it's because that's the decision we make. We are choosing to focus on the negative over choosing to focus on the positive, because it's easier. It's just easier. And it also elicits because we allow it to elicit an emotional response, right? Like you hear about those people that, oh, you get 1,000 compliments and it's the one person that is the detractor that derails your joy. Well,
Yeah.
do you have to listen to that one person? I mean, do you have to, like, do you have to? I think we make a choice, man. Like if I tell you 1,000 positive things and I tell you a critical negative thing, like it's up to you at that point, right? Yes, you
Yeah.
can focus on that one thing, but does the history of our friendship and the things that I tell you and the things that you know to be true support the one negative thing, or does it support the thousands of other things that you know to be true? It's a decision that we make. Like, why do trolls have power? Like some person you never met, you never know, you probably will never meet. They say something dumb in your comment section and you care. Like, why is that even a thing?
Yeah.
But it is. And I think because we choose to let that be a thing, we give other people power, and we don't take the power, and we don't focus on the things that we're doing amazingly, because I think that's we should be celebrating those things. And I know you can, because we've done it. It's just a little bit harder.
Yeah. And I think it's also very important to understand that the people that you surround yourself with has a big influence on that. You can surround yourself with negative people, with naysayers, with people that want to, strike you down, and it's going to be very easy to have your own negative self-talk. Or you can surround yourself with people that are positive, that are wanting to help you grow, that are going to lift you up, that are going to encourage you to try and to push yourself. And that's the people that we want to surround ourselves with. And that's why we join mastermind groups. That's why we started our own mastermind group. It's to put ourselves with other like-minded individuals that are going to lift us up, help us grow. So I think it's incredibly important.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%.
It's good stuff, man. There's some deep questions. I love them. Thanks to everybody who sent these in. We'll probably try to do a few more of these in the future on these shorter version podcasts. And yeah, you got anything else? Got any other deep thoughts?
No, man. I think this was good. I do appreciate people submitting their questions, and this ownership piece, man. It's just something that keeps, these questions reinforce it to me as well. And it's something I have to remind myself of, and I'm so appreciative that people are thinking this way and asking these types of questions, because it really challenges me as well to not do things like compare, to own my decisions, to choose contentment, to choose the things that I want in my life, to be surrounded by people that are positive and energetic, and they see optimism, they see opportunities all around them, versus because it's very easy to find the alternative to that, right? Very easy. So
for sure. Well, this is a big thanks to all the listeners, all of our podcast listeners. We've reached 200 episodes. The listenership continues to grow, and we have to thank you guys for that. Tell somebody about this podcast. If this is information that is meaningful to you, we'd greatly appreciate it if you tell somebody. Take a screenshot, share it on your social media, or just tell somebody to come and listen to this message that we're trying to put out into the world, this positive message that we're trying to put out in the world. We want to live an abundant life. We want to help men and women become the heroes of their journeys, and be better every single day. Good stuff.
sounds like an amazing goal. Love it.
Yes, sir.
Big thanks. Big thanks for giving us your ears, spending time with us. It's a huge honor. It's a huge pleasure. And it really gives us energy to look forward and push to the next 200 and the next 400 and the next 600. And so, yeah, loving it, man. Loving it.
All right. Go fill the storehouse.
Make it a great day, friend.
See you.
So.